Morning everybody, I hope you're all doing well. It's a lovely, fresh Saturday morning. So we're going to talk about what happened yesterday with Angela Rayner being sacked. She didn't resign, she was sacked. So everybody was celebrating that Angela Rayner had been sacked. Completely useless. She should have gone. She should have gone a long time ago. Hopefully investigations in a just world, she would face criminal charges for fraud, for trying to avoid paying the tax that she should pay, that everybody else is supposed to pay. But that aside, she's gone. She's gone. We're not going to get Angela Rayner as Prime Minister now. People briefly sighed of relief. And then Keir Starmer decided to do a cabinet reshuffle. Right, so I'm going to cover this as well, because I can cover this going into this. Right, so a lot of criticisms against me and my arguments have been that I don't recognise that all this is by design, even though I do. Every time I use the word incompetence within describing the government and what they're doing, it's met with criticism of it's not incompetence, it's by design. Right, so let's look at that. So let's say you're the deep state. You want to wreck a country, totally destroy it. What's the best way to do that? Now, if you put a team of people in to government that have a reputation of being pretty good on average, then it's going to look suspicious when they start making completely incompetent decisions and go totally against their normal character. So what do? Instead of putting competent people in to do the job, you get the most incompetent bunch of people you can find, and then you put them into your cabinet and into positions of power. Then it looks organic. Then it just looks like you've got a very incompetent government with a prime minister making very poor decisions. It doesn't look like it's planned. It doesn't look like the intention is to actually destroy the country. That's what you do. That's how you wreck the country. That's how you disguise your actions. Now, for those of us that are awake, that are aware of the tactics that these people would use, we see right through that. I see through it, you see through it. We know this is just by design. We know that the people in those positions are put there by design to wreck the country. Now, they've probably had a brief, I don't know, the deep state, do your worst to wreck the country. But these people are already incompetent. You wouldn't really need to do that. You just put them in the positions of power they're in and just let them have at it. And sure enough, before long, unqualified people in positions of power are going to cause chaos, aren't they? So that's what I mean when I say they're incompetent. They are incompetent, but it's by design. I hope you understand that now. So let's have a look at the new cabinet. So we've got blah 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 Mahmood as Home Secretary. So that's just basically that's Keir Starmer giving the British people the finger, really, isn't it? This, you've got to realise, right, Keir Starmer is a narcissist. And narcissists treat the people around them as an extension of themselves. Keir Starmer thinks the Labour Party is an extension of himself due to his narcissism. So any attack on his regime, on his party, he sees as a direct attack on himself. And he responds accordingly. So what did he do? Now Angela Rayner has been kicked out the door. He responds aggressively. He doubles down on his positions. He puts the worst possible people into the positions that they're now in, that they're not qualified to do at all. Putting blah 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 Mahmood into the Home Secretary position is putting the special relationship between us and our American allies at risk. That you can imagine how many feathers got ruffled in the American intelligence agency knowing that we now have a far left extremist activist as our Home Secretary. You've seen the footage of her outside that Sainsbury's where she made it close early because her and her gang of thugs were protesting outside it and they were intimidating the customers, so the supermarket shut early. That's our Home Secretary now. A far left extremist who supports the Free Palestine movement is now our Home Secretary. Do you really think that countries that are carrying out operations in the Middle East are really going to trust her with sensitive intelligence? Of course they're not. So now, we as a country are going to be cut out on the international stage regarding intelligence, regarding military operations. They're going to cut us out. They're not going to trust us anymore. That's the way the cookie crumbles with that. So that's that. We've got, so Yvette Cooper, what's she now? She's, I forget what Yvette Cooper is now, you know, but whatever position she's in, she'll be useless anyway. They all will be. Now, this is the interesting one. The appointment of David Lammy as Deputy Prime Minister. Now, a lot of people just think this is just Keir Starmer making a poor decision. But look at it from a different perspective, right? Keir Starmer is on very thin ice at the minute as Prime Minister. He knows his time is running out as Prime Minister in this country. So what does he do? He picks the worst possible person to be his Deputy Prime Minister, and then he knows that that message is going to get out. People are going to realise, right, if we get rid of Keir Starmer, we're going to have David Lammy as Prime Minister, which is going to be even worse than having Keir Starmer. So this is a move to protect his own skin. This is like an insurance policy. This is him saying, well, if you get rid of me, look at who you're going to get as Prime Minister. It's a desperate move to try and save his own skin. And trust me, there are people in the Labour Party that don't want David Lammy as Prime Minister. They know how incompetent these people are. They do. They know how bad things would be. And that's a message he sent to the British people as well. Like, keep pushing me and you'll get rid of me and you'll have David Lammy as Prime Minister of this country. So it's a desperate move to try and save his own neck from having to step down as Prime Minister. That's what they're doing. That's what he did. That's what happened yesterday. So we're an international laughingstock, of course, this country. Now, I'm not going to say our country. I'm going to say our governance. Our governance, our government, our political class are an international laughingstock. The people of this country aren't a laughingstock. We can't help who these people are and the fact that we've got a very poor crop of people to choose from to govern over us. The majority of people in this country didn't choose these people to be in Parliament. They're just there. And unfortunately, after 40 years of EU rule, we just don't have a crop of decently. I said this to Nick Buckley yesterday. He responded to me, and I said, he was saying that about we just don't have any leaders. Like, yeah, we don't have any. We have zero Prime Minister potential in this country. There's not one single person in that Parliament, apart from Rupert Lowe, who would make a decent Prime Minister. And that's the truth. Anyway, I'm going to keep this short today. So yeah, I'm going to do a live stream later. Watch out for that around dinner time. I'm going to do a live stream and we can go into more detail on things. So for now, this is Vindicator, sign off.